I thought it was great. Like Vince always says, good TV. But not only that, it's better than good TV to me.
Yes. Hello again, everybody, and welcome to an all-new Wrestling Time Machine by Sportskeeda. I'm your host, Mac Davis, and of course, I'm joined by none other than pro wrestling journalist, a legendary pro wrestling journalist, Mr. Bill Apter, and of course,
thank you,
Mr. Hall of Famer, Teddy Long. Hey, guys.
Yeah, I just want to say hello, and I keep on hearing you talk about you're the host. Well, I've already started a petition, and people are signing it as we are talking right now to see if we can remove you from the host, and that's what we're working on right now.
Okay. Well, Teddy, who would you pick as another host? Someone else in the business? Who would it be?
Well, the person that has the most money.
It's a payoff. That's all it is. It's a payoff.
So that would either be Tony Khan or Elon Musk.
I'll take Tony Khan.
Me too.
All right. Well, you're talking about Tony Khan, so I'm going to jump right into some news, and it concerns AEW Dynasty, their pay-per-view just recently, and it made the news for all the wrong reasons. When it went off the air, Swerve Strickland said to the fans in attendance and those who are filming still with their phones, Booker T. To which Booker T then replied after he heard, that's the main event and the last thing people are going to remember. The last thing people are going to remember is me, my name being said. I'm sure Tony Khan doesn't appreciate the news and the headlines not being what happened at Dynasty with all the matches because they're talking about Booker T. That was a bad move. Teddy, I'll go straight to you because you reacted to it immediately. Go ahead.
Oh, God. Well, Booker knows the game. Booker knows exactly how this goes, and Swerve Strickland does not know the game because if he did, he would have never said nothing like that, but he called himself saying that to try to get some heat. It ain't all about getting heat all the time. It's all about being in, saying the right thing at the right time. So I applaud Booker for staying relevant and getting all that good AEW TV time.
Bill, let me ask you, what is the heat between the two? Do you really know what the fuss is really about between the two of them?
Well, wait a minute. First of all, Booker didn't get any AEW time because he's with NXT and WWE. So if I understand correctly, this was after the pay-per-view went off the air.
As it went off the air, yeah.
Right. As it went off the air or...
Let me see if I can get it. After it went off the air is what I have in the notes here.
So the fans that heard that were the fans that were there live. So the pay-per-view people didn't hear it. I understand there was some heat between them when Swerve was working back in WWE, and he and Booker just didn't get along together, which. I know them both, and they're both really nice guys. So I don't know why that took place. But the actual impetus for this thing must have been something that they were one or the other said on the internet, because that's where people get all the heat from now. And it was wrong for him to do that. Period. The end. There's no excuse for that. I know he was upset that they didn't give. Everybody thought he was going to get the world title from John Moxley at that point. And I know he was very upset about that, but I never would have brought Booker T's name in. And you're right. The billboard right now is all about Swerve Strickland and him saying the F-bomb on Booker T.
And that's a shame because I like Booker. I like Swerve too. I think Swerve is one of the shining, things in AEW to me right now. So I hate to see, that they let things get so personal that they would attack each other. I do think that some of it had to do with that Swerve kept saying that there weren't enough opportunities for men of color in the main events or in PLEs. I think that's what he was trying to point out. And somehow it got really heated up when Booker said something. I don't really know. I know that at the time of this recording, I just saw where Booker is laying into Swerve in another video, which I guess was maybe filmed yesterday. So at this time, I can't really say much more than what we've already said.
It's bad for both companies to do. This is what even though we are on the medium of the internet, this is what I hate about the internet, when these things are taken and people, that's clickbait.
Well, let me speak on that too. Like I said, I like Swerve too, man. Like you said, what a nice guy. And every time I see him, we always messing around, shooting the shit, so. And Booker, one of my best friends. So I don't know what started this or whatever, you know what I mean? But I think Booker will be the better man. He'll come out on top on this. And Swerve just has to learn a little bit more about our business, you know what I mean? And that's all that is right there. Sometimes you say things, but you don't know what you're doing. Sometimes you put your foot in your mouth and you don't even know you're doing that. So you just have to learn this business. And once Swerve, like I said, he's a good competitor. I think they'll keep on using him on TV or wherever he goes, because I think he's great talent. So he's just got to keep on learning. That's all I can say, man. Just keep on learning, player, and don't let this, distract you.
It just shouldn't have happened.
Yes.
You got to mind. It's old school, but you got to mind your manners in front of the fans.
Yes.
Well, it's youth, and you see a lot of the guys. Like I remember Randy Orton when he was young. He made a lot of mistakes that were silly and stupid because just because he had the youth in him. He wasn't. He wasn't quite seasoned yet. And that's where Swerve is right now, I think. Swerve has got to be careful, too, I think, in AEW. He's very good in AEW. But if you take him out of there and put him in WWE right now, I'm not sure how well he would be able to swim. So he needs to be in AEW, learn his value, don't get a big head thinking that you're the biggest star in AEW, because you're still not the big star in WWE. And that's where the ultimate goal ought to be. Don't you think, Teddy?
Well, and the other thing, too, if he is in AEW and if Jake Roberts is still there, please, Swerve, go and pull Jake Roberts. He's not there anymore?
He hasn't been there for a while at this point. But I was backstage there. There's a lot of good. Dean Malenko is back there, too. There are people, there are veterans. Scotty Riggs is back there. Scotty Too Hottie is back there. So these people are veterans in the business that, can smooth things over with him. But it just shouldn't have happened. You got to watch your mouth.
Yeah. Let me talk about watching your mouth. Recently, and I'm going to go off script here, so that this is not part of our program. Sportskeeda is probably going to freak out, but I'm going to bring this up anyhow. There was a recent promo showdown on a SmackDown episode between Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton. There's no way I'm not going to talk to you guys about this, even though it's not in our notes. Bill, I'll go to you first. What were your thoughts when you saw battle number 2 between these two?
When I saw battle number 2 and it started going south, and Charlotte, first of all, the fans wouldn't let Charlotte talk. They absolutely despise her. They're big Tiffy fans, and Tiffy's a heel too. But when it started getting personal, and I think Tiffy may have said something at first, and when Charlotte just said something as Tiffy was leaving the ring about Tiffy's breakup with Ludwig Kaiser, which isn't public knowledge unless you're on the internet. It really went south, and I don't know how they're going to handle this, because Charlotte is going after Tiffy's title at WrestleMania, but this became very, very, very personal.
Well, Teddy, I was about to say, because it became so personal and so real by the end of this interview, man, what a story you can go with now. Now you got something to work with here, because people legitimately feel the heat between these two women.
That's money right there.
Yeah, man.
That's money right there. And the reason it's money is because it's real.
Yeah.
And it also could have been discussed backstage with, you two just go at it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, well, and I felt that way when you watched the promo. It felt like the one thing, Tiffany, and she's young, just like we were saying a minute ago, she's still young. But her promos, she's trying to remember everything she's got to say, and it spills out really fast. So it's like she's trying to squirt it out of her as fast as she can, because she's having a hard time remembering what she wants to say. When she does that, she gets a little bit lost and she sounds weak. But the fans razzed her. Charlotte tried to talk, and the fans were giving her the Dominic Mysterio. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good battle between the two. I just feel like Tiffany won this battle. In the end, even though it felt a little set up, like you say at the very end, it felt very real and very raw. And the way Tiffany left and held that belt high, walking away, I thought was perfect. Teddy, what do you think?
I thought it was great. You know, like Vince always says, good TV. But not only that, it's better than good TV to me.
Yes. Yeah. I found it to be one of the more entertaining things to see at WrestleMania now.
Well,
in a card that I didn't care for.
Well, there you go. I was just going to say to you now, Mac, you have something now you can talk about. There's something now that's brand new that's been added to WrestleMania.
That I can, because I believe this feud. That's why. More so than any other feud that there is on the WrestleMania card. I believe this feud. Go ahead, Bill.
The fans are now wondering, and again, we go to the internet fans, was that a shoot or was that a work or a combination deal?
I feel like it was a combination. Leave your comments below. Let us know what you think, and we'll talk about it on the next program. Let's talk about one more thing that I saw on Raw recently that's not on our list. I want to get your feelings about this. The spear by Bron Breakker on Carlito. Wow. What a freaking spear, Teddy.
I saw that after I talked to you earlier in the day, then I went to WWE's site and I pulled that and I saw that. Man, was that's the real deal.
Now, this goes back to what I was saying on a recent show that we were doing. Right now in WWE, there's several people using the spear. At this point right now, the only person who should be using that spear is Bron Breakker. Am I right or wrong, Bill?
Until I come back, he's next. I just happen to have Bill Goldberg here. No, definitely. There's too many people using the spear. Bron Breakker is going like 35 miles an hour in a 20-mile zone.
Yeah, so, and not only that, he's not just getting the speed, but the height. When he came off the ground, I swear I thought he was going to fly. He basically was.
I did. They're fine-tuning him. He's getting better and better every week. He's still not looking as intimidating as they want him to when he's coming down the aisle. But once he gets near that ring, he's incredible.
Well, I see his father and I see his uncle in him so much. Teddy, I know you worked with the Steiners, and they were a different kind. They were wired a little bit different. Do you think Bron Breakker? Have you met Bron in person, Teddy?
Every time I go back to do something, I'll run into him and then they'll call me and I get busy. And I swear, man, I was thinking about that today. So if I get a chance to see him in Vegas, I'm going to apologize because I hadn't had a chance to talk to him. Because me and his dad and his uncle there, we like I said, brother, we've been friends for so long. So I just can't wait till I get to talk to him.
Yeah, say something to him. We'd love to have him get on the show too, Teddy, on Road Trip After Hours, where we do some interviews as well.
I've talked to him at length, and he's very focused. He's very serious, and he knows he knows he has to live up to his uncle and his father's legacies.
Yeah. And that's got to be hard to do. A lot of times people say, oh, it's so easy for these guys who have, some kind of a way to get in. No, these guys have a bigger burden to carry because of that person that came before him. So
he's doing a good job.
Yeah, he is.
It's so great when he goes back and, and the fans start barking with him.
Yeah, Bill, don't kill it. Don't kill it, please. The guy's trying to get over.
Not one of my best ones.